Hi, I'm Charlotte with Freezer Meals 101. Welcome to this week's What's for Dinner. There's actually two videos for What's for Dinner this week because I didn't get to editing the first one because last weekend Christy and I were doing our massive 150 freezer meals, and so it's taken me some time to catch up with the rest of life and editing that video as well as the What's for Dinner one. So anyway, here we are. There's two this week. Sorry about that, or yay, I don't know, depending on if you like them or not. But this week, it was kind of interesting because we tried some of the new freezer meals, but also I purposely chose 3 of the recipes this week so that I could show you how to turn them into soups with the leftovers. And so I have a video on that. I will post that here, right there. There'll be a link. And that will just show you how to like stretch those grocery dollars. So what we had is one night we had the saucy sausage pasta sauce. Saucy sausage sauce. Yeah, say that 3 times quickly. And we had that on pasta. And that night, my husband, because he's doing keto, he had the keto Italian meatballs and asparagus. So I'll show you that too. And another night we tried the Jenny's wild rice chicken and green bean casserole. That was a new freezer meal that we made this time. And there are a few things that I would do differently for next time. The flavors are really good. It's like a nice all-in-one casserole, but when we made it, we realized that we really should have mixed it in a bowl. And I was talking to Jenny later and she said that's how she does it, so I just should have clarified on that. But that for next time we will know that mix the ingredients together before we put them in the bag. The other thing is, now that we've actually eaten it, I realize that next time we make it, I'm going to make it in smaller portions, like the same amount of food and just like portioned into smaller containers, I guess, or smaller portions in the bag, because the crispy fried onions on top were delicious, and you put those on sort of like towards the end of your cook time or 20 minutes before you take it out of the oven, and that really made the dish. It's got that nice pop, and it's kind of reminiscent of a green bean casserole that you would have like at Easter or Thanksgiving. So the thing about that though was that they're not crispy if you have leftovers. So some of my kids didn't like the soggy fried onions when they had the leftovers. So next time we would just put it like in a smaller container so that we make sure that we don't have leftovers, or like several containers, and then we can bake them and have that crispy fried onion part. Okay, for the soup meals, the ones that we made into soups, we had our pesto chicken and vegetables sheet pan meal. I love that meal because it's healthy, it's bright colors, it's so easy because you just dump the whole freezer bag onto a sheet pan, throw it in the oven. I served that with roasted potatoes, so super easy. You could put the potatoes like right on the sheet pan with the rest of everything, but then they wouldn't quite be as crunchy because they would have the pesto sauce on them. So anyway, I like to do them separately, and also I didn't want the potatoes in the soup. So we did lemon garlic chicken. That's super easy freezer meal, super easy dump recipe one night, and we served that with rice and carrots. And again, that's one that got transformed into a soup. And then the other one that made it into a soup for the leftovers was the beef curry. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys each of those meals and how quickly and easily they came together from the freezer to our plates. So tonight we're gonna try this saucy sausage pasta sauce for the first time. It was kind of an invention, but that's a bit of a stretch since is really easy. So we're just gonna put this on top of pasta. We're gonna use some fresh basil from our nice herb garden, of course, and then some bocconcini cheese, or maybe some goat cheese. we'll see what I'm feeling like. So I'm excited to try this Jenny's wild chicken and rice freezer meal. This will be our first time making it, and it was a suggestion from Jenny in the freezer meal group on Facebook. And so we're just gonna take the thawed casserole. We're gonna take the thawed bag and put it into a casserole dish and give it a bit of a stir. And then we're gonna pop this in the oven. About halfway through cooking, we're gonna top that with the French's fried onions. So now I've topped this with these fried onions. And I used just whatever I had left, so it's like maybe a quarter of the thing. I'm not really sure. Around that. And I'm putting it back in the oven. Doesn't that look good with that crispy topping? I am excited to dig into that. So there you go, wild rice chicken bean casserole. So since my husband is doing keto and that casserole we're having is decidedly not keto, he is doing the Italian meatballs that we made this freezer meal session with some asparagus. So for tonight, I took out the pesto chicken and veggies for supper. I love how it's so colorful because then I know that it's super healthy. And we've added the carrots, corn, zucchinis, Brussels sprouts, so good. So anyway, I'm gonna put that on a sheet pan, and then you could actually add potatoes right onto the sheet pan and cook it together, but I am going to add some baby potatoes and roast them separately because I want to be able to use the leftovers of the pesto chicken in a soup, and so it'll just make it easier for me if I don't have to pick the potatoes out of that, and I can just put them in their own container for leftovers. So and then I can make those actually into breakfast potatoes. So I'm always doing things with our leftovers so that I don't waste anything. So today for dinner, I have taken out the beef curry and probably just serve it over rice because it's got the veggies and the meat already in there. And then again, with our leftovers, we are going to make a soup and stretch this one meal into two. So tonight we're just going to have simple lemon garlic chicken, some rice and carrots. Really easy meal, and I'm not going to do it in the crock pot or anything or even the oven. I think I'm just gonna do it in the skillet so that it's ready faster because that's the kind of day that we're having. We just need it to be done ASAP. So I've got the lemon garlic chicken cooking here, some rice cooking there, got some carrots going over there. It's gonna be a really easy dinner to throw together, and then we're gonna take the leftovers from that and make it into a lemon rice soup that's inspired by the Greek one. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner. Remember to check out the How to Transform Your Leftovers into Soups video so that you can save some more money on your grocery bill. Thank you again for being here, and happy cooking.